Hello everybody, this is ManuS and welcome to another Eternal News episode. Today I want to talk to you guys about the announcement from last week of a new format that we are getting today and give you a couple of thoughts and cliff notes on it. But before we do, you know the drill. Hit the subscribe button down below if you're new to the channel and turn on the notification icon to not miss out on future content. And now on to the announcement. Alright, so this is the announcement from last week. The format was supposed to go live last week, but has been pushed to today. So yeah, they implementing a new format called Expeditions. It's basically a new, smaller rotating format with a changing set of rules. As they said here, usually they are supposed to last up to 1 month, but some could be shorter, and they will each contain a new format and or rules. So it's kind of like some of the things we've seen in events with changing rules possibly, but we don't know that specifically, since the first expedition will simply be a smaller format restricted by the amount of sets legal in it. And the first expedition that will start today after the downtime will consist solely of the Empty Throne, Defiance and Dark Frontier. The way I understand it, no campaigns at all, and also no other sets. And yeah, as we can see here, they also implement some stuff to make it easier, like there's a button where you can just filter by the current expedition format, making it much easier to build decks for those formats, so that's nice. And the expedition format will replace the casual queue, but in addition to replacing the casual queue, we get a practice mode for ranked, so you can choose to either play regularly or you can play a practice game where you get paired against anyone. There's like no MMR based matchmaking, I think, and your games do not count towards your rank, positive or negative. So it's kind of like casual basically, except that it's all in the same queue, which has the benefit of reducing queue time, because even if your opponent, I'm not 100% sure how it works, and I'm not sure how I like it, depending on how it works. If it means I'm playing a ranked game, but I could be matched against someone playing a practice game, which is what I assume is how it is working from the Reddit statement that they announced this in, means I'm not that big of a fan of this. Sure, it reduces queue time, but it also dilutes results. Because, you know, someone like two people playing each other with very different priorities kind of messes with the whole ranked idea, because suddenly one player is tryharding and trying to win, playing the best possible deck and playing as well as they can, while they're playing against an opponent that doesn't even care about winning, just wants to try something out, might even scoop prematurely. So yeah, I'm not that big of a fan if that's how it works, and that's how I understood it. If you have any information to the contrary, or things that you think point to the contrary, let me know, but that's how I understood it so far, and I'm not super happy about that. But I can see how reducing queue times is desirable, especially if you're implementing another queue with a new format that will get more attention than, say, the casual queue card, and draw more people away from ranked than before. So splitting your players suddenly between like casual, ranked and expedition would really thin out the player base, or like spread out the player base a bit much. In this way you kind of keep it like binary, expedition or ranked, be it practice or none. So yeah, the other thing that I want to touch a bit on is the specific format. So this specific format that we have right now means Skycrack, Xenon and Argentport are basically not playable, because they don't even have their banners, because they were in Omens of the Past. They also don't have a lot of their multi-faction cards, so there's simply not much point in playing any of those three colors, and they're even not going to be that easy to splash in, say, a 3-faction deck, because we only have one duel for each of them. And due to no banners, no crests, no banners for that combination, and those combinations also not having received insignias yet. Then we have 3 factions that are, or actually like, yeah, 3 factions that are exceptionally well positioned. Those are Feln, having 3 duels, banners, seats and insignias, Stonescar, and Actually, yeah, it's only those. No, oh yeah, and Cambrai is the third one. I knew there were three, I just couldn't think of the other one. And Cambrai, all three of these have their multi-faction support because they are from the first 5 color pairs in the first set where they were supported multi-faction wise, and they have 12 duels, so they are primed to be 3 of the like color combinations and archetypes to look for. They also have pretty good support, like there's champions and all that stuff. And then the other thing is, the other color combinations fall somewhere in between. They have usually 2 duels, either banner seat or insignia seat. But keep in mind, even for combinations like Huru and Praxis, for example, we do not have the multi-faction support that they get from the second set. So they still have a lot weaker power level overall because they some of the most powerful cards of color combinations are usually the multi-faction cards because they're harder to support and therefore allow for more power, and these color combinations don't have them. One other thing though is we have the mono-faction support push from the latest set, which definitely helps a fair share there, so there might be some potential for mono-faction stuff, especially for example mono fire, since a lot of the good cards there are available, including Godan. So there might be something there still, that mono fire might be a good deck here, although it is competing with Stone Sky in a smaller format. So it's not that likely that mono fire makes more sense than just an aggressive Stone Sky with Bandit Queen and everything. And yeah, Hero Control has a lot of its good cards because it got a lot of them very recently, so that is still very appealing even with only 8 duels, especially because the duels are seats and insignias, which are, aside from crests, the best ones for a controlling deck, and banners would have been kind of like bad crests in a control deck, so they got like the right duels there. So yeah, just like as a baseline for what to look at, and then we have obviously a lot of the staples because they come from set 1, like we have Torch, we have Vanquish, we have Annihilate, we have Harsh Rule, we have Wisdom, we have Sandstorm Titan, we have Initiative of the Sands, we have Oni Ronin, we have a lot of these like kind of hallmark cards that sort of are timeless staples and important role players to make a lot of archetypes happen. Also, we do have smugglers, but we don't have merchants. So the only way to run merchants is to be mono-faction, be dual faction, so you have access to a smuggler. So the mono-faction decks have the downside of not having access to market, but they have access to even-handed golem technically, but that forces them into a weird spot. And yeah, in order to support smugglers, you need to be 2-faction, but then you get a black market. So yeah, I think that's like the baseline and pillars for this format. And of course, I'll give the format a go. Just gonna start brewing in the format later today, after the downtime happened, so we can go and just give this new format a whirl and try something a little different on stream. And also it's nice in the sense that I can like really try hard in this format and share everything, unlike in the regular format right now where I have to like be a bit careful of what I do on stream because of worlds coming up. So yeah, gonna be a nice, fun, interesting thing to do. We'll see how fun the format turns out and how long it is fun, or if it just kind of like gets boring real quick. But then again, the format lasts the longest for the longest a month, so even if it's not that fun and kind of like burns itself out fairly quickly, we're not gonna stick with it too long, and then we just get the next format anyway. Alright, that's all I have to say about the Expedition format for now. I think it's kind of nice that they're experimenting with different modes and alternative ways to play the game to keep changing things up and keep it interesting. The one thing that I dislike a bit about this format is that for now the format seems kind of pointless to play, other than just for the sake of playing it, because there's no ladder here, there's nothing no incentive to play the format really, other than you're just being fed up with a regular format and wanting to play something different. So I hope that changes in the future, but there might be like incentives down the line. All right, that's it for this time. As usual, you know the drill. Subscribe, like if you enjoy the content, share it with your friends, let me know in the comments what you think. And of course, if you want to support me and my content, check out the video description down below. You can find infos on Patreon and all that stuff down there. Since, right, I'm on Patreon now, for anyone that doesn't know it yet, make sure to check that out. Even like $1 from a certain percentage, even only, of all my YouTube subscribers goes a long way of helping me and my content out and taking this to the next level. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have fun with expeditions, and I'll see you on my stream later today for brewing. Bye bye.